Greetings and salutations, dear lords and ladies of YouTube. Welcome to the second episode of the Hidden Castles of Austria. We have travelled to the north of Lower Austria to a region called the Waldviertel, so let's go and explore the castle. Today we are visiting the castle ruin Schauenstein. It is located 450 meters above sea level, overlooking the Camp Valley. It covers an area of around 2,500 square meters and was constructed on top of a massive rock with steep cliffs on three sides. The castle was built in the middle of the 12th century, and in 1175 a Popo of Schauenstein was mentioned as its owner. It was built to protect against the invading Bohemians and Moravians who repeatedly penetrated through the Kamptal back then. From the 12th century on, it was upgraded many times and inhabited right up to the end of the 17th century. The thickest walls of the castle are also the oldest. Back in the 12th century, one would have to walk along the bottom of these to approach the first gatehouse. Of course, back in those days, there wouldn't have been any trees here anywhere, so everybody approaching the first gatehouse could not do so without being seen. This wall and archway is all that remains of the late Romanesque gatehouse, which up to the 14th century was the only way into the castle. Over the centuries, the castle changed hands frequently. In 1467, the Hungarian War was raging, and Ulrich of Grafenegg, a loyalist of the Hungarian king Matthias Corvinus, acquired the castle, and in 1472 handed it over to him. A few years later, Friedrich III, Emperor of Austria, finally recaptured the castle. During this conquest, part of the castle were destroyed, but rebuilt afterwards. Later, due to the imminent danger from the Ottoman Empire, the castle was further extended, although they never made it this far north. In 1622, Jacob of Kufenstein acquired the castle, and to this day it remains in the hands of his family. Here in the courtyard, all parts of the castle can be accessed, and its evolution over 500 years becomes visible. On the opposite side of the courtyard we have buildings from the 14th to the 16th century. These had different functions over the centuries, first of all living quarters and later as a defensive purpose. They were accessed over this small tower with its spiral staircase. Behind me are the oldest buildings in the ruin, a chapel and a hall dating back to the 12th century. Sadly today there are only sparse remains to be seen. Moving along, we come to the new gatehouse built in the 14th century. For this, parts of the chapel were replaced and this gatehouse was built. As the gatehouse was being built, a palace was constructed next to it. Sadly today, only this back wall remains standing. As you can see, the view from the palace location over the valley below is truly amazing. The keep is over 30 meters high and has 6 levels. It has a massive 5-sided stone foundations with walls up to 6 meters thick. The first levels were built in the 12th century, and over the next century the upper levels were added. As you can see on the 6th level, there are holes on the outside of the tower. Here, wooden walkways were placed on the outside of the keep. As we make our way up to the keep, you can see to the left the sparse remains of the kitchen from the 16th century. Inside the keep, on the lower floors, the rooms are small and square. There is no evidence of fireplaces or toilets inside here, so probably the tower mainly served a defensive purpose. On the upper floors, the rooms are 5-sided and so a little bit larger. Today the stairs take up most of the space on each level, but back in the 1300s they would have not been as wide or as steep. It is even possible that there were just ladders which led through trapdoors. Here we are at the highest point of the castle. From here we can see miles around in every direction, over the ancient travel routes, the river and the valley below, or even to the northwest, the only approach towards the castle. In 1645, Schauenstein was captured by the Swedes during the 30-Year War. As they left the castle, it was partly destroyed, and afterwards it was never occupied or rebuilt again. It was left to decay over the next 350 years. Around the year 2010, the local Conservation Society carried out restoration work to make the ruin accessible and safe for the public. I hope you enjoyed the episode. See you again next time on Steve Explores. Till then, bye bye.